want to now bring in NewsNation contributor Chris Cillizza, host of So What with Chris Cillizza over on YouTube. Chris, happy Friday. Good morning.
Happy Friday. We did it.
We did it. We have survived. Tom teed us up there. Democrats are pointing fingers at one another, and he brought up AOC. Let me just play that soundbite from her, just blasting Schumer's decision to allow the GOP bill to move to a vote. Take a listen.
I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal. And this is not just about progressive Democrats. This is across the board, the entire party. Just to see Senate Democrats even consider acquiescing to Elon Musk, I think it is a huge slap in the face.
Yeah, so Chris, my question to you is this a win-win for Republicans? Either it passes and the Republicans get what they want, or it doesn't pass and the government shuts down and they get to say, hey, wasn't our fault.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, Markie. I think that Republicans got them in a tough spot. They passed it in the House, which I didn't think they would, a very narrow majority, and they were able to sort of make it happen and put the pressure on Senate Democrats. I didn't think that would work. I thought they would not make it through the House, but it did. And I think Democrats basically decided, well, we need to fight on different things. Stock market down, tariff concerns, Donald Trump speaking at the Department of Justice today. Do we really want to potentially own a government shutdown? And I think they decided no. I totally understand Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's point, because it's not really about liberals. Liberals are going to be fine in terms of re-election. That's not going to be a big deal. But if you're a Democrat in a swing district and you voted against keeping the government open, even though now Democrats in the Senate are going to sell you out and keep the government open, that's not a great look.
Yeah. Even after Schumer's move, House Democratic leadership saying that they remain strongly opposed to the bill. How messy do you think things could get today ahead of midnight, Chris?
Well, look, Chuck Schumer does not support this bill. The reason that Chuck Schumer came out and said he's going to vote for this bill is because he knows the writing is on the wall, that there are at least 7 Senate Democrats who are going to vote for it, period, right? That's just the reality of the situation. So this is going to pass. I would be stunned if it did not pass in the Senate today. What that means, however, is we're talking about divide among Democrats, right, Markie? Yeah. We're not talking about Republicans who control the White House, the Senate, and the House, right? We're talking about why are Democrats fighting amongst themselves? That's a bad outcome for them.
Yeah, we'll follow it closely all day long. Let me pivot to something else, another high-profile Democrat that I know you've been talking a lot about lately, Pete Buttigieg, ruling out a U.S. Senate run in Michigan next year. I mean, you just covered this on your podcast, Chris. How are you reading that? Is that a 2028 presidential bid that we're seeing in the works here?
Oh, totally. Totally. Look, I mean, if you think Pete Buttigieg is like, well, I'm done with running for office. No. He decided he posted on Substack. He started a Substack, newsletter, which in and of itself is kind of interesting. He posted on Substack, I think this decade is the most critical decade in American history. I want to be part of that debate. Well, Markie, what other race is happening this decade other than the Senate race? I mean, he doesn't come out and say, I'm running for president. But the tea leaves are there. He clearly thinks his voice should be a part of that race, and I'd be stunned if he didn't run.
Yeah, we're reading between the lines here for sure. But
yes.
What kind of disadvantage does that put him in? He won't have had experience as governor or in Congress. I mean, what does that set him up for? Success-wise.
How many elected offices did Donald Trump hold before he got elected president?
Very fair point. Extremely fair point.
I always say, people who think that you have to be in the House, the Senate, or be a governor to run for president, people who are in the House, Senate, or governors, because of course they think their experience is the relevant experience. Yeah, I mean, look, Pete Buttigieg's governing experience was the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, which, sorry, Notre Dame fans, is still a relatively small town, and being the Secretary of Transportation. Who knows? I mean, Barack Obama was in the Senate for 2 years before he started running for president. Donald Trump, as I said, never held elective office. So I think the question for Pete Buttigieg is he's incredibly charismatic, whether you like him or you hate him. He's incredibly gifted naturally as a candidate. I think the bigger question is, in 2020 when he ran, he won Iowa. He then could not replicate that because he struggled with non-white Democratic voters. Can he fix that problem?
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.